Hey, what's up neighbors? aaFlare here, bringing you another Destiny 2 video. So I just recorded this whole thing. I realized that my mic settings were changed and they did not pick up any of the audio. So we're gonna restart. In today's video, if you didn't notice by the title, or I don't know why you clicked on it without reading the title. Anyway, this is the point of the video, okay? We're gonna talk about nightmare hunts and how I've noticed that now that I soloed them all, I've done all the time trials, I don't touch them at all, except for that pinnacle drop, and even that, I'm pretty sure the gear cap is 960, which I've hit on my hunter, so I don't go into nightmare hunts. There's no point. There's nothing to farm for. I mean, I get the idea to farm the Dreambane armor and weapons, but the armor can't roll with high stats, right? So why would I farm it? It doesn't make sense. It can't even roll with like mid 60s or low 60s, you know? So there's no point in me going in there trying to farm a roll. I think 60 would be the highest if you're lucky, and good luck getting a 60 roll. The weapons, I mean, Love and Death is a good weapon. I guess it's kind of worth farming for, but once you get that curated drop, I guess that's for any other weapon. But still, Love and Death is really the only thing that's worth farming for in the Nightmare Hunts. So that's what we're going to change. We're going to give a reason to go in there, farm it, add some cool rewards to it, as well as add some more complexity to the fights, because they're boring. Other than Crota, they're all boring. They're all the same fight, and they're all super easy. Time trials I did when I was doing them with random teams, no communication, did it in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, they're a joke. We're going to add some mechanics to it. So, like I was saying, Crota is the only one that has a mechanic with the sword being able to damage the boss, and there's a risk to going in with the sword and hitting him with it, right? So what we're going to look for is simple kind of mechanics like that we can add into the fight to kind of resemble Crota's kind of depth and difficulty compared to the rest. And so a lot of the mechanics we're going to be looking at are kind of just reskins of mechanics from Destiny 1 or earlier on in Destiny 2. This would make it easy for Bungie to implement them into the game, since they already have those resources and kind of just have to copy paste it, other than maybe a select few mechanics that are kind of new that I came up with, but still aren't really, they don't have much depth to it either. As well as we're going to be adding rewards, so like a Nightmare Hunt exclusive drop, kind of like strikes. This would make it worthwhile to go back in there and farm, and I brought some D1 favorites, or at least 4 D1 favorites? Yeah, 4 of them, that I thought, hey, why not bring them back, as well as some armor that you could farm that is high stat rolled armor, as well as some additional rewards that I'll get into at the end. So we're going to start with Crota, which does not need a mechanic change. I thought the fight is fine, but we will add a new reward for farming it. And the rewards, I thought, like a drop rate of would increase as the difficulty goes up. So master difficulty would be like a 10-20% chance to drop, and it would go down from the easiest difficulty which would be like a 1%. That way you can't just go into the easy one and farm that one. It'd be more worthwhile to go to the master difficulty. So for Crota, let's stop dilly-dallying here. Let's get to the juicy stuff. So Crota would be the return of the Word of Crota hand cannon from the Crota's End raid, and I guess just rename it the Fall of Crota? I don't know. If you guys can come up with better names, let me know. Or better perk rolls that I come up with. And it would be a 180 RPM hand cannon, and would have an intrinsic perk of explosive rounds, which was kind of like a middle tree perk back in D1, so I thought, hey, give it explosive rounds, why not? Nothing that broken. And a curated roll would be Zen Moment and Phantom Gift. And Phantom Gift would be a unique perk to the weapon, and landing 4 precision hits refills the magazine completely. So because of this, maybe make the mag size only about 9, I think, which is what it was in D1, which is pretty low for a 180 RPM hand cannon. So that way it'd be kind of balanced, and the perk would suit it well. Next, we have Anguish, or Omnigul, and for this fight, we're going to be taking a Volt of Glass kind of mechanic, but something that's already in the game, and it's those Hive Detain green ring things that you find in the Sabathun Songstrike or the Arcborn encounter in the Menagerie, where if you stand in it, you kind of can't move, and you gotta just shoot it to get out. So it's going to be kind of like the Templar, how he'll shoot I forget how really that worked, but he shot it out, would detain 3 people, but instead in this, we'll detain 1 person. Every 30 to 45 seconds, Omnigul will detain someone, and it will kill that player that's trapped in it in about 5 seconds if it's not destroyed. However, the detain field can only be destroyed by people outside of it, so you can't destroy your own detain field, which means there needs to be a bit of communication in the fight, just giving it a little more depth. Nothing crazy difficult, but getting detained out in the open will definitely kill you, and not being able to destroy your own detain shield means, like I said, more communication. For the reward, I thought, let's bring back the Grasp of Malak. Everyone loves it. 540 rapid fire frame pulse rifles are in right now. Let's bring it back. It'd be a perfect time, and we'll just rename it Omnigul's Scream. I don't know. I thought it was all right. And it would have full auto intrinsic to it, and a curated roll of Feeding Frenzy and Kill Clip. So yeah, it would pretty much be the best rapid fire frame pulse rifle for PvP, but hey, it's not hard to get that kind of roll really anymore with Outlast being farmable, and you could I think you could farm one in the Menagerie. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm sure you could farm one. Next, we have Servitude, or Zydron, and Zydron will use another Volt of Glass type mechanic. Well, this one is actually Volt of Glass, and it's whenever he goes immune and summons adds, there'll be a slight delay. So once the adds are all in the arena, of course, so they're actually a threat, and it'll just spawn some oracles, 3 to 5 oracles that you have to take care of. If you don't destroy them within like 10 to 15 seconds, and it'll just wipe ya. And the reward for Zydron, I thought, bring back a Volt of Glass weapon as well. So we got Atheon's Epilogue, which would be renamed Zydron's Prologue. I don't know, thought it was clever. And Zen Moment would be its intrinsic perk, and it would have a curated roll of Subsistence and Glass Half Full. Now, it isn't like High Impact Reserves. I thought, why not do the opposite, where the first half of the magazine does additional damage. This would give it synergy with Subsistence, and actually make Subsistence kind of a good perk. And it wouldn't be anything that broken, since I don't think High Impact Reserves really increases that much damage on high rate of fire auto rifles. So it wouldn't be anything that broken in PvP, and it would just give you that additional kind of damage and kind of give it that unique role, you know? Next, we have Gull, or the Rage Nightmare Hunt. And for this one, I thought of something simple and would kind of be a callback to the original D2 campaign where you just cannot use abilities. So whenever you go in there, there'll be like Oppressive Darkness type of, or Stolen Light kind of debuff that would apply to you. No supers, no grenades, no melee abilities, no class abilities. That's it. That's the mechanic. It would definitely add a lot more challenge to the fight, since you can't dodge, go invis, or drop a well to heal ya. No healing riff, no super to insta-kill the boss. It would just make it a lot harder. For the reward, I thought nothing seems more fitting than the weapon that we were left with at the start of the D2 campaign, which is the Traveler's Chosen, but give it a legendary version. I thought Traveler's Champion could be a better name for it, but it would have full auto as its intrinsic perk, and a curated roll of Quick Draw and Gung Ho. So Gung Ho would be a unique perk for sidearms, where swapping to it gives you a brief moment of increased rate of fire while retaining damage from its normal archetype. So I'm pretty sure it's an adaptive, or it's a single shot sidearm, and it would just basically turn it into the full auto like Soros sidearms for 3 seconds while retaining its same damage. Maybe 3 to 2 seconds, depending on, I don't know how broken it would be for PvP, but sidearms aren't anything insanely powerful in PvP, so I thought, hey, why not go a little wild with it, give sidearms some usability, and I thought it'd be a good way to bring back that weapon as well, since Gull also uses that little pistol, so why not make it a little sidearm. Next we have Taniks, who would have another simple mechanic, which is just adding those mines that spawn in the Prison of Elders, or yeah, just the Prison of Elders. So it spawns in the Warded of Nothing strike, as well as the Prison of Elders from D1, where you just have to kind of stand over it for a couple seconds, or before the timer goes out, or you die. So every time he goes immune, he spawns 1 or 2 of them. And as well, there'll be one at the end of that hallway that you have to run through to that final little area once he kind of flees. And maybe add a few more Exploder Shanks, just so there's more precedence to get between those 2 zones, and not just kind of a break from the fight, because I find that little break in the fight, it makes it easier, you know? So add a little more urgency there. And for Taniks, I thought, why not bring back no more primaries? We have enough primaries from these. Bring back a special weapon. So Ex Machina suits it well, since Taniks was corrupted by Siva, I'm pretty sure, in the Rise of Iron campaign. That's how they brought the strike back. And it would of course be the High Impact Sniper, have auto-loading holster as its intrinsic perk, and a curated roll of 4th times the charm and wait for it. So wait for it here would make it so having the weapon reload when stowed would reload it with an increased magazine size. So with extended mag, as well as that perk, it would give it around a 7-round magazine, I'm pretty sure, which is a lot for a high-impact sniper. And with 4th times the charm, you're looking, I think, at around 10 to 11 shots pretty much per mag if you hit all crits. So it would make the weapon really good for DPS. So since we don't really have a high-impact sniper or DPS, since it's all the adaptive frames with Tranquility and Soul Survivor, so I thought, why not make a high-impact sniper worthwhile using? Next, we have the armor piece drops. So let me just elaborate on these a little bit. There's one armor piece drop, so each fight has one drop for each class. So Fear, Fogoth would be the Titan, Fanatic would be Warlock, and Pride would be the Hunter. And these armor drops would just be base stat rolls of like 56, 57, and would go as high as the endgame armor can roll, which is, I think, 66 and 67. I think I've seen rolls that are that high without mods in them. And it would also come with an intrinsic mod to it that doesn't cost any energy, so it's just already built into the armor, and it's just a Supreme Dreambane armor mod, which significantly decreases damage from nightmare enemies, so it would just make it so farming for more drops would be a little easier once you get one of the armor pieces. So, like I said, Fogoth would give the Titan chest piece, and his mechanic would be this one. I couldn't think of anything really, because the Fogoth strike didn't really have many mechanics to begin with. So I thought, let's just throw a Shrieker up in the middle of the room. It's invincible, you cannot kill it, and it doesn't shoot its normal little seeking infinite or like rapid fire shots. Instead, it's more of the old Shrieker, where it just kind of emits those seeking Axion darts at you, except these ones can be destroyed. So it's kind of like the Axion darts that the Taken Centurions shoot out, or the Savathûn Song Strike Boss shoots out. So it shoots out maybe 4 to 6 of them every 30 seconds, does a ton of damage, but they can be destroyed. So it's a mechanic, it's just something, a little something extra you have to notice and take care of during the fight. For Insanity, we have his helm for the Warlock that'll just look like the helmet of Fikrul. And the arc field that the Fanatic uses actually is a good mechanic, it's just not lethal enough. So instead, every 30 to 45 seconds, however what the timing is for him to put down that arc field, instead he'll shut down a third of the arena, so the left, right, and center would each rotate around getting shut down, which would make you move around and give you less space for the actual fight and less cover. And finally we have Pride, which is Skolas, and we'll drop a helmet for the Hunter that looks like Skolas's helmet. And his mechanic, I thought, would be pretty cool, which is to bring back the Devouring Essence idea from the original Skolas fight. However, the Essence instead is used to damage the boss. So if you have the Essence, you're the only one who can damage the boss. Passing it along to someone gives you a debuff of 45 seconds where you cannot pick it up again, and if you don't pass it after 30 seconds of holding onto it, you'll just die, as well as it'll randomly be assigned to one person at the start of the fight. So with this, it gives you a little leeway of passing it around, but you can't just pass it around like crazy because of that 45-second debuff. You got like 15-second kind of time where you don't have to pass it along quicker, like you can pick it up, you know? So you can hold it for 30 seconds and the other guy can just hold it for 15, so that way the other person can pick it up by the time the debuff's gone. So you don't have to be exactly perfect on the timing. But Flare, you say? Why not bring back Taniks's cloak? Everyone loves Taniks's cloak. Well, you see, if we were to put class items as the unique armor drop, would you farm it? Would you do it more than once? No. So instead I thought, why not add cosmetic rewards for completing the time trials for the first time, right? Since the fights are now a little harder, maybe even cut down the time trial requirements to like 5 to 7 minutes instead of 10, 15 for most of them. I mean, I did all of them way faster than that, which means they can the time requirement can be cut down. And maybe mark it in the Triumph what the time requirement is. Anyway, I thought, why not add cosmetic rewards, one-time cosmetic rewards for this? So ornaments for armor, a few weapons, and then a ship, Sparrow, and Ghost. So for Isolation, I thought bring back Taniks's cloak as an universal ornament for class items for hunters. For Anguish, bring back the Bond of Omnigul for warlocks. And Rage, bring the Mark of Gull into game, which I thought was a cool looking mark. I don't know if you guys all agree with me, but I thought that was a cool looking mark, so why not give it to Titans? For Despair, I thought give Night Terror an ornament that makes it look like Crota's sword, so kind of that green glow to it, I thought would be pretty cool. Servitude would give an ornament that resembles Idron's torch hammer, or the big kind of, you know, grenade launcher type thing. I know it's not Void, Love and Death, but hey, I thought it would look really really cool. So Insanity would give an exotic ghost shell named the Haunted Shell, which is just Cade's ghost with no kind of light for the eye, so it's kind of a dead ghost. Fear, Hive ship, kind of bound by chains, looks like the Whisper mission ship that you get. That is just the Taken King or King's Fall ship. And then Pride, I can't really think of I thought a Sparrow, but I'm not sure really what, like Fallen Theme Sparrow, I don't know what it would look like exactly. But you get the idea, there's just those one-time cosmetic rewards. So I think this would be a great way to add longevity to the Nightmare Hunts, and hey, why not even add more Nightmare Hunts down the road? Because I'm pretty sure this is an activity that's supposed to be replayed for the year. It's kind of like how the Dreaming City dropped powerful rewards all last year, right, for Forsaken. So why not put a little more effort into the activity, make it worthwhile grinding for. It'll go a long way for sure. Let me know if you guys agree. If you have any better ideas or improvements to mine, let me know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future content. More stuff coming for Season of Dawn. I just upgraded my PC, upgraded my motherboard, processor, getting a new graphics card probably by the end of the year. So we'll definitely have some higher quality content and be able to push stuff out a lot faster, since processing videos does take a long time, or did on my computer, but now it should be a lot faster. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed, like I said, leave a like, subscribe for future content. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.